Open the doors. It's time for C2K. This is an NFL show like no other in Los Angeles. On tap, what the Chargers can do, that hasn't been done in more than 3 decades. Plus, remember this? Yup, Saquon Barkley and the Eagles knocked the Rams out of the playoffs last year. How they plan to get payback today. Also, a former Ram making history. Plus my fantasy tips. This is Countdown to Kickoff. Let's go.
Sports Central presents Countdown to Kickoff, sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
You come on in. Welcome to Countdown to Kickoff. It's your boy, Darren Haynes. Week 3 is here. We're about 90 minutes away from Sunday's slate of games. Now, there are 9 matchups in the early window, and here are some of the players making their way into stadiums across the league right now. Check out Adam Thielen rocking the vintage Randy Moss jersey, and there's Jalen Hurts. And speaking of the Eagles and Hurts, let's start with a rematch.
Hurts this time pulls it and keeps it and takes off for the first down. Through a tackle and Hurts on the run. He might go. Jalen Hurts, touchdown Philadelphia. Here goes Barkley into the clear through the snow all the way home. He's hit another home run against the Rams, and this one might send them to the championship game.
This is what the Rams saw the last time they played the Eagles in Philadelphia. Whew, it's getting cold. Mother Nature wasn't playing around. Neither was this guy. Saquon Barkley, the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, rushed for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Rams' playoff loss last year. But there's more. Barkley also had a career-high 255 yards and 2 touchdowns in last year's regular season matchup. Shoot, do the math. Add Barkley's 74 total receiving yards. That's 534 all-purpose yards against the Rams, the most against any single opponent in one season in the Super Bowl era. Jeez. Now, he was also a threat to score from any spot on the field, with all 4 of his rushing TDs against the Rams being at least 60-plus yards and 3 from 70 or more. Here's what Rams edge rusher and Philly native Jared Verse has to say about this matchup.
When you take away the 4 big runs that they had against us, it changes the game completely. Like, it's not the same narrative of, oh, we're not making the NFC Championship or anything like that. Like, we're going to the NFC Championship and farther than that. Like, you take away those big runs that he had, the second big run that Hurts had, it's a whole different game. So all you have to do is eliminate the explosives. We take away the explosives, both of those games are very winnable.
Now, the Rams have had their own issues against the Eagles before Barkley even put on a green jersey. L.A. is 1-9 in their last 10 meetings against Philly and have been outscored by almost 9 points per game. That's the Rams' worst record against any team and the Eagles' best against any team since 2005. Coach McVay, tell me how you feel.
Is this a great challenge? You're damn right it is. You know, I got tremendous respect for their coaches, their players. You know, they've gotten after us. They've gotten the results that they wanted, and you can see it's a combination of a lot of great things that they have going there. And they're 2-0, and they beat 2 really quality football teams to start this season. This is what you love about this league, is the opportunity to be able to go have every single week a chance to be able to go put it all out there, not be afraid of whatever the consequences are, but let's go swing and see what happens.
All right, one storyline to keep an eye on will be the Rams' stellar passing game going up against the Eagles' pass defense, which ranks #1 in the league since 2024. Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, check it out, combined to catch 14 passes for 197 yards and a touchdown from Matthew Stafford in last week's win at Tennessee.
It's nice being me and lining up and knowing that we got 2 guys that really got more than 2, but those 2 guys have done a heck of a job in the last couple years. Obviously, Devontae a little bit, you know, a few more years than Puka, but done a great job in the last couple of years making big plays, and that's what's showing up to me. These guys are, when they're getting their opportunities to make plays, they're making great ones. I feel lucky. I know, you know, I'm not every quarterback in the league gets to drop back and throw it and hand it off to the guys that we have, and so I feel good about that.
All right, now I want to bring in my man Don Bell from CBS News Philadelphia for a little back and forth about this matchup. I call it a debate, but we all know, Don, I'm always right. Let's get straight to it, though. I need you to tell me, we talked about Saquon Barkley, but why do you think the Eagles' offense will dominate the Rams this time around? There's no snow this time.
Well, Darren, look at it this way, right? Fish swim, birds fly, Eagles' offensive line beats people up. That is the natural order of the universe, right? These two teams played twice last year. Saquon going for over 450 yards on the ground in those two games combined. I think the natural order of the universe returns on Sunday.
All right, so we talked about the Eagles' offense. Now let's talk about your defense. The defense was good last year, but why do you think your defense is going to stop this Rams offense this season?
I got to be honest, I'm not sure if they can, right? On the
Keep it real, Don.
side, they do have a guy on the defensive line that when he's not spitting on quarterbacks, he is eating up offensive linemen. We're talking about Jalen Carter. This feels like a Jalen Carter type of game.
And then you look at our revamped receiving core. Shoot, Puka Nacua has more receiving yards than all your Eagles receivers combined, my man. I don't know if you guys are going to play like the Super Bowl champion Eagles, but maybe more like the EAZFSZ Eagles, however your mayor said it. Let's have a wager, though. Who do you think's going to win? And give your score. And the loser has to wear the opposite team's jersey on TV.
I like the Birds, and I like the final score of 24-20.
I'm going to go by your head coach who said, you know what, we're going to look at the rearview mirror and not think about what we did in the past, but what we're doing now. And what they're going to do now is they're going to lose to the Rams 33-24. And you, my friend, will wear a Matthew Stafford jersey on your sports show. Thank you for joining us, Don. Hope you like that jersey.
Wow. Wow. That's how you do your boy. Always good to be with you, even though you hit me with that at the end.
Producer says wrap for you.
Herbert steps up on the move, scans end zone, a dart, Keenan Allen. The Chargers jump on top. Herbert launches downfield. It's Johnson in stride. Touchdown, Chargers.
Now the Chargers are balling. The Bolts are looking to start 3-0 and sweep their first 3 division games for the first time in 31 years. Shoot, the last time the Chargers did that, they went to the Super Bowl, people. They'll welcome a Denver Broncos team into SoFi today, and last year the Chargers clinched their first season sweep over the Broncos since 2010. A 3-0 start will go a long way from the Bolts, who are looking to win their first AFC West title in 15 years. Coach Harbaugh, talk to me.
Our guys have been attacking it. Had a really good week of practice, and very confident that it's a big, huge game for Denver as well. And I'm sure their preparation has been great, and it'll be 2 opposing wills meeting on Sunday.
Now, earlier in the week, the Bolts placed star edge rusher Khalil Mack on injured reserve after suffering a dislocated elbow in last week's win over the Raiders. The good news is it's not season-ending, but Mack will miss a minimum of 4 weeks. All right, coming up, we'll go more in-depth on the Chargers-Broncos game, which will feature 2 first-round quarterbacks out of the same school. Plus, we show some love to 2 former Rams quarterbacks who are hoping to lead their teams to victory today.
Countdown to Kickoff is sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times.
All right, so here's a number you need to know. Number 6, Carson Wentz will get to start at quarterback this week for the Vikings. That's the 6th team Wentz will start for in 6 seasons. Yes, best believe that's an NFL record because no quarterback has ever started for 6 teams in 6 years. I mean, look at all the teams Carson Wentz played for. Eagles, Colts, Commanders, Rams, Chiefs, and now today, the Vikings, a Minnesota team Wentz grew up cheering for as a kid.
I grew up rooting for this team. It's one of those things you play long enough and you kind of forget about those things because it's football. You're bouncing around teams. But being here, I kind of alluded to it when I first got here, just how cool it is for me to know, I used to cheer for the guys that I'm walking down the hallway seeing. Used to come to the Metrodome and I was waving the towel. I was, part of the skull chants, all the things. And so running out of that tunnel this week will probably hit me a little bit different in a really cool, kind of surreal way. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. All right, let's circle back to the Chargers and Broncos. We'll see 2 former Oregon quarterbacks, Bo Nix and Justin Herbert, go head-to-head. Now, Nix, check this out. He threw for 29 touchdowns as a rookie, trailing only Herbert's 31 for the most all-time. Now, Herbert has thrown for at least 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in 4 straight games, tied with Lamar Jackson for the longest active streak in the NFL. He looked to keep that rolling in the Bolts home opener.
We always enjoy playing in SoFi. We have, such a great fan base and definitely a great environment to play in, and we're definitely looking forward to it. But I think it's been great the past couple of weeks to go play, and it's challenges, opportunities for us to go play on the road and to be the team that we want to be. We need to go play and win games like that.
All right, my man Chris Haynes at SoFi for the game. And Chris, what should we expect to see from this Chargers team today, my man?
Well, Darren, you can expect them to play in front of a crowd. I don't know if you just heard, House Banda was just rehearsing behind me. It's Puro Charger Power Day, baby. And let's bring in one half of the best Spanish radio duo in all the sports. Let's just call it what it is. Francisco Pinto joins me, and you and Adrian Garcia Marquez, you guys pretty much coined Puro Chargers. The fact that we're having a Puro Chargers game to open up the season at SoFi Stadium, how special is that for you?
It's incredible. Number one, how could I say no to be with Chris Azuquita Haynes and Danny Tarantino Ayala? Even if it's early, I had to be here. And this what you mentioned is I've known Adrian for like 15 years. I've worked with Adrian Garcia Marquez, and ever since, that guy is raised, born and raised in Southern California, San Diego, and he bleeds lighting, and this Puro Charger concept, since I've known him, he's always he loves the Chargers, man. So Puro Chargers, Puro Charger Power, Pura Familia, all that is like, the guy's unique, man. I mean, he has his way of seeing things and come up with creative ideas and concepts, and we're so proud that the team has adopted that mojo, and we love it, man. It's incredible.
Well, what a great day it's going to be. What a great start for the Chargers to start 2-0. You beat the Chiefs and Raiders in primetime. You come back home against the Denver Broncos, and one of the things Darren was just talking about, Bo Nix versus Justin Herbert. Bo Nix has a propensity to turn the football over. 6 turnover-worthy plays to start the season. You see what the Chargers did last week against Geno Smith. 15 pass deflections, 3 interceptions to Geno Smith. I think it starts with that secondary today, no?
It does. I think the Chargers are a very serious team. They are the kind of team that it just doesn't, they don't shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, they make you beat them. And that's a sign of any good team, the ones that make few mistakes. And I think that's what could be one of the main, keys to the game today, is how you can take advantage of that. Because Herbert has always taken care of, good care of the football. So yeah, I think that defensively, this is a very good team, very good, especially in the middle. They're big, they're tough, and Jesse Minter used them very well. There's a lot of rotation here to keep the guys fresh. So yeah, I think it's going to be one of the keys to the game today.
Can't wait for it. Hey, before we go, look at these shoes, Darren. You don't think Pancho Pinto's ready for the home opener at SoFi Stadium? Oh yeah, I just asked him for a coupon code or whatever so I could get a pair myself.
A little self-adulation there, yeah.
We'll send it back to you, my man.
I love it, you guys. Chris, make sure you get a pair for me, man. Take the shoes off his feet. I want it.
Darren needs a pair too. Darren needs a pair too. Okay, we got you.
All right, now it's time to show some love. Tampa Bay quarterback Baker Mayfield deserves some love. I mean, check this out. Since 2023, Baker Mayfield has more passing yards and touchdowns than these superstars. Shoot, these guys have a combined 5 MVP awards. Now, Mayfield, he had a roller coaster start to his career and got a shot with the Rams, who he credits for finding himself again. Remember this video?
To be able to come in here 10 minutes ago and help lead us to a victory. See you guys on Monday. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and he's balled out ever since he got that game ball. Mayfield has the Buccaneers 2-0 for the 5th straight year and could get them to 3-0 for the first time in 20 years. That's why Baker Mayfield deserves some love. All right, still to come, we go back to the Bolts. I catch up with Chargers outside linebacker Bud Dupree ahead of the Bolts' first time back in L.A. to play at SoFi this afternoon.
You're watching Countdown to Kickoff, sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
All right, welcome back to C2K. Let's take a look at this week's scratch list. Of course, J.J. McCarthy and Xavier Worthy won't see the field today. Chris Godwin will not play for the Buccaneers. Not great for Baker Mayfield. And the Packers have activated tight end Tucker Kraft. You hear that, fantasy GMs? That's a big one for sure. All right, we told you earlier edge rusher Khalil Mack is out for the Chargers with an elbow injury. That means next man up. That's where we find this guy, Bud Dupree. I spoke with the 11-year pro about today's matchup against the Broncos, his plan to fill Khalil Mack's shoes, and more.
8 carries for 5 yards. Ball up in the air. Ball up in the air again, and it's caught by a Charger. It looks like it's Dupree, the former Steeler.
Bud Dupree has been making big plays since joining the Chargers last year, and he and the Bolts are riding high after their fantastic start to this season. Bud, you guys are 2-0. Shoot, 2-0 overall, 2-0 in the AFC West.
Yup.
What's the mood like inside this Bolt right now?
Man, exciting. Obviously, with all the hard work is starting to pay off.
Yeah.
No, that's what you really want to do. Be able to put the work in the summer and let it pay off on the field.
Mahomes from the pocket steps up, pirouettes, and that's where he's taken down by Henley.
All right, one of your teammates, one of your brothers, Deion Henley.
For sure.
He's balling out as well. But I couldn't help but notice, you guys still do that handshake?
Yeah.
Where it's like an alley-oop or something like that? Like, how's that go?
Yeah, man, we come here.
I don't know it.
2-2,
okay.
I throw it off the backboard.
It's off the backboard.
Come windmill it.
Damn.
Dunk it. Now, Darren, my dog, man. We know at the end of the day, when you keep balling like that when you're young, you're going to get the big check. So, obviously, championships is number 1, but taking care and providing for your family is also number 2. And Darren, if you keep balling, man, we're going to help us win what we want to do, which our goal is a Lombardi trophy. And number 2, his goal, which is to provide for his family.
11 years in, I know you still got more in you, but we're closer to the end of the road than the beginning of the road.
Oh, definitely.
Bud Dupree, how do you want this season to go for you, and obviously a championship, but what's motivating you the most to get to that point?
Motivating me the most right now, man, my kids are old enough to understand what winning and losing is.
Interesting, okay.
We got to stay focused, stay hungry. Our coach is going to demand that we stay hungry, that we be very detailed, and we're going to be in the mix and be hyped and be doing all the handshakes on the field every time we celebrate.
Bro, he's like a motivational speaker. And Bud's kids, man, we're gonna keep winning for y'all. Keep winning. Kyle, I want take it easy on Pops.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
I really appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, one final break. When we return, my fantasy picks, including which Rams player I believe is gonna ball out again today, baby.
Today's Charbroiled Fantasy is sponsored by Carl's Jr.
All right, so there's still time to adjust your fantasy lineups before first kick. So here are my week 3 picks. Patriots quarterback Drake May threw for 2 touchdowns and rushed for another in the Patriots win last weekend. Look for my man to have another big game against a Steelers defense that's given up over 30 points in each of their first 2 games. At running back, I'm going with Javonte Williams with the Cowboys. He's off to a great start, rushing for 151 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. I expect him to keep it going against the Bears team that gave up 52 points last week. And Devontae Adams led the Rams in receiving yards last week, and he's just getting started with quarterback Matthew Stafford. Don't be surprised if Adams puts up big numbers once again this morning in Philly. And at tight end, I'm going with Juwan Johnson, who's had 20 targets in the Saints' first 2 games. He'll be a prime target for the Saints inside the red zone today in Seattle. All right, so now it's time for my final drive. This past Monday, Cameron Dicker became the most accurate kicker in NFL history, hitting 94 of his first 100 attempts. But his journey wasn't easy, people. Known as Dicker the Kicker, he was cut by multiple teams before landing with the Chargers. In 2022 alone, he was released by the Rams, Ravens, and Eagles. But after all those no's, the Chargers said yes. And Cameron Dicker turned that one shot into the greatest start a kicker has ever had. Real talk, every no isn't the end, it's a challenge to rise. So keep going, even when the world doubts you. Cameron Dicker did, and look what happened. All right, that's gonna do it for me for Countdown to Kickoff. Let me see the football, I need a rock. Have a great Sunday, everybody. I'm Darren Haynes, I'm out.